I've wanted to read the Kanan comics for ages, but I've just never actually gotten round to it. I actually like Rebels, so with the mid-season finale gone and the final leg of the entire series on the way, I decided to get the book so that when Rebels is over, I can say I got the most out of the characters. I grew up reading the Dark Horse Star Wars comics, and I was very dubious about the amount of people giving rave reviews about the new Marvel comics. Every single comic Marvel released seems to have been met with nothing but praise, and that makes me think either the people leaving the reviews are just Star Wars fanboys who don't have an ounce of objectivism in them, they're Marvel fanboys who are also incapable of being objective, or they're people who have never read any of the Dark Horse Star Wars comics, and so don't know any better. However, I was pleasantly surprised by Kanan. It's actually quite good. It focuses on Kanan in two states of his life, one as a Padawan and one post-Order 66, surviving without his master. It's not as simple as that though, because there's a lot of moving backwards and forwards in time. We see Kanan from Rebels remembering being a Padawan at multiple points, and at one point in one of these memories, Depa Billaba seems to have a false vision about the future, so it's very backwards and forwards, but the way they've laid the events out and the pacing that goes with it, it's actually quite enjoyable and makes a lot of sense. Since watching Rebels and reading A New Dawn, I've wondered exactly what happened with Kanan and Depa Billaba during Order 66, and how they came to be Master and Padawan, because in the prologue of A New Dawn, Depa Billaba mildly chastises Kanan for asking too many questions, and this book explains how they came together as a team. The story itself is nothing galaxy-shattering. We see Kanan at various points of his life and they all parallel each other. Most of the book is set on a planet called Kala, and Kanan ends up visiting there multiple times throughout his life, and this is what prompts the flashbacks that form the bulk of the story. A certain character pops up from Kanan's past as well, and I wasn't expecting it, but was really pleased to see this character return. They weren't in it for long, but it was quite funny and it was worth being in there. I really like the artwork in Kanan. For most of the book, Pepe Larraz does the penciling, and his style reminds me of Humberto Ramos, but a bit less childish. Larraz does a good job of injecting a lot of energy into the book. The facial expressions are very easy to read, and his use of angles throughout the images, whether its face is drawn a bit more angular than other artists might, or whether it's the angles in the whole image overall. For instance, there's a scene where Kanan and Depa Billaba are training, and they're in parallel with each other, mirroring each other, and there's a lot of one arm being straight and one arm bent, and it all works to add a sense of action to the book, even in the still moments. David Curiel did a great job with the colouring too, and I particularly enjoyed his occasional use of outlining a particular part of the image in full. It's something else that helped add a sense of action to the book. However, the penciler in issue 6 wasn't actually Larraz, it was another person, and while he had a similar style to Larraz, it just wasn't the same and it was noticeable. The same goes for issue 12, where the penciling was just a totally different style and much more cartoony. It was almost like the cover of the Jedi Academy kids books. I really didn't appreciate the drop in quality, especially since it's the last issue in the book. Maybe Larraz was busy for these two issues, I don't know, but I don't see any reason why he couldn't have done them. The book would have just been a bit more seamless then. I have the hardcover omnibus version, so it's also worth noting that when the dust jacket is removed, there's this amazing wraparound image of Kanan and Depa Billaba fighting in the Clone Wars. Most of the time you won't see this, but it's always a nice little touch. I liked it with Ahsoka, I liked it with Rebel Rising, and it's just a nice little addition that makes the book feel that much better because of such a small improvement. So overall I'd say Kanan was really good. It had a good story for the most part, it had great art, and the book itself looks nice. There's nothing in here that's going to reveal how Rebels will end, but it's a great little book that just helps add a bit more depth to a character people already know. And between Rebels and A New Dawn, this kind of completes what you might call the Kanan trilogy. I'm pleased I read it, and I recommend it to anyone who enjoyed reading A New Dawn or enjoys Rebels.